meditation service. For the next 20 minutes, we're going to go into this sacred silence, the place where all things are possible, the place where the source of the truth of who you are. So relax, let go, and allow your spirit to rise. Thank you for joining me this morning. If anything is percolated, prayer chaplains are always available to remind you of the truth of who you are. Thank you. Service will begin in 10 minutes.
Lieber, everybody. Good morning, good morning. It's amazing it's September already, isn't it? Whew. So welcome everyone, if you're here with us in person or if you're watching with us online. It's a joy to have you with us this morning. If you're new to Unity in Marin, or even if you've been here for a while, I find it's always helpful to remind ourselves about what it is that we're here to be and do to anchor in intentionality. And we are a community that is intentional about love, about our capacity to be love, about our capacity to see love in those around us. Even if they're annoying us, we're still going to see love. And we want to give other people the grace that we would hope that they would give to us. And so we come together in this sacred Sangha and this spiritual community to anchor that for ourselves and for each other and for the world. So I'm going to invite Carolyn Gauthier to come on up here. We have an opening song that, and before we do that, I'm sorry, I forgot that we have the prayer chaplain emeriti and prayer chaplains have put together an affirmative prayer for the presidential election, so that we are consciously anchoring and holding what's happening in the larger United States from a place of love and consciousness. So there are hard copies of them. You're welcome to take them home. The prayer chaplains invite you to anchor this affirmative prayer every day at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., so that we're all coming together at that same time to be able to create a field of possibility. Now, if you can't do it at 9 a.m., can you do it at 10 a.m. or 6 a.m.? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. So I'm going to invite us to take a breath together and then say this prayer together. As we hold the highest vision for the United States and its place in the world, all concerns gently fall away. Centered in the awareness of unity, we see our country in harmony and cooperation during this election cycle. I affirm wisdom, order, and peace for our nation. And so it is. So we have an opening song, and I'm just going to invite everyone to use this song as an opportunity to literally let yourself be here in this very room. Let's know this together. In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit, sweet Spirit, is in this very room. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit, sweet Spirit, is in this very room. presence in this very room. And as we step into our opening prayer, I'm going to invite the prayer chaplains to rise. I'm going to invite Claire Grinzel to come forward with our prayer box, and invite the prayer chaplains and anyone else who feels as if they are anchoring consciousness for this community or for the world to feel free to encircle this community, and that includes all who are watching on the live stream. Thank you, Barbara. There's a lot that's been going on in the world this week. And so I'm going to invite us right now to just bring Georgia into our hearts. Bring the school in Maryland into our hearts. And we just breathe into the love that's available to us right now. And just knowing that we are large enough to hold it all, to hold this space, this place for grief and sorrow and loss and anger. And yet, at the root of the root, at the heart of the heart, there is love. And so we just hold the pain that this child must have been in. We hold pain for all who are suffering the loss right now because of this pain that this child was in. And we just allow ourselves to be open to a healing within ourselves, of thinking that there is other, of thinking that our anger has no other expression except to lash out. A healing within ourselves that allows for, clarity and wisdom and discourse. A clarity within ourselves so that we can create a world where this is an impossibility of ever happening again. And this space, you can feel how deep and wide and healing it is. I invite you to just place anything you're carrying in your heart personally, to place anyone who you're carrying in your heart in the center of this field of love. You can speak their names into the space if you wish. Placing Chris right here. And it is in this place, this very room, the inner room and the outer room, which there is no separation, that I see and I know wholeness is the order of the day. I see and I know that well-being and love and compassion, grace and wisdom, discernment to choose, to decide, the capacity to act as a compassionate heart space of love. For it is from this space that we are saying yes to creating a world that truly works for everyone. And gratitude for this and so much more. The opportunity to be connected heart to heart, hand to hand, soul to soul. I do give thanks. And in agreement, I invite you to say with me, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. Thank you. You may be seated. I'm going to invite Dory to come forward for our inspirational reading.
It is now time for our inspirational reading, a time to let these words become part of your morning reflection, your morning meditation, or prayer. I invite you in this moment to take a deep breath and to pause, to close your eyes if you wish. I invite you to let these words become your words. The affirmation for today is, today, I joyfully choose to imagine and create a world full of love, compassion, and wisdom. Hebrew scriptures remind us, keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. When I imagine the unlimited possibilities available to me, I also consider the words of Charles Fillmore. Imagination gives us the ability to project ourselves through time and space and rise above limitations. Imagination envisions and conceives of new ideas, and it is through the compassionate, loving energy of my heart that what I imagine is transformed into a lived reality. Imagination continually opens doors of new possibilities, transforming today's vision into tomorrow's adventure. The choices I make from my heart-centered belief in oneness and my interconnectedness with all the world ensures that my life and the world are expanding compassionately in beautiful and healing ways. Once again, the affirmation for today is, today I joyfully choose to imagine and create a world full of love, compassion, and wisdom. Please know this with me. Today I joyfully choose to imagine and create a world full of love, compassion, and wisdom.
Good morning, Unity. All right. Welcome. It's a beautiful day today. And I'm sure we have new folks in the room with us today. And so I personally am welcoming you, as well as the entire community will also like to welcome you. So please join us in the courtyard after service today for our potluck hospitality, which is held every Sunday. And if you are a first-time guest, you feel free to, and you have questions about Unity, feel free to visit the welcome table outside in the courtyard. And there's also other ways that you connect, especially if you're, here online. You can text the word welcome to the telephone number here listed, and it will directly go to Deanne, and she will respond to your text. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. And yes, that's the text number. Text the word welcome to that number. And you can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. And for those who heard Threads for the first time last week, like I did, I was like, Threads, what's that? Anyway, it's an alternative to the X platform. And so it's also interconnected with Facebook and Instagram. So one more social media channel. Okay, whatever. It's easy, great. All not for me. You want to talk to me? Here I am. You can also connect with us with a spiritual connection card that was handed to everyone here. There's also a version of it online, and you can fill that out if you would like communication. We have a list of upcoming events you might want to take a picture of if you can't write fast enough. But we have a lot going on in good measure and positivity. So click on it, a picture of it, and participate. We here at Unity have a vision, mission, and core values. Please know this with me. Our vision is a world spiritually awakened and transformed through realizing our divine potential. Our mission, Unity in Marin, is a loving community dedicated to spiritual growth, inclusivity, and service. We honor and care for ourselves, each other, and the natural world. And our core values are connectivity, inclusivity, authenticity. Thank you. Today's flower sponsor is by Debbie Bartunek for her mom. It's her 97th birthday, and her mom is Barbara Duckweiler. Beautiful. And today's flower sponsor is Kurt Rear, grateful for Unity on his birthday today. So awesome. And the flowers were arranged by Wendy Miley. They're beautiful for fall. And if you would also like to sponsor either hospitality and flowers, please see Charcel in the courtyard to sign up. And Deanne?
So each week we honor and just celebrate and lift up someone who serves here at Unity in Marin, because that's really how we operate and function. And so today we're honoring Thomas Tyree. I don't know if he's even here today. Is he here? There he is. So Tom, we just say thank you for all that you do. We so appreciate you. He's the hospitality guru. I'm going to invite Sharon Henderson is in the house today. I'm going to invite Sharon and her husband to come on up here. Lee, her husband's Lee.
Thank you. Ooh, an honor to be back with you. Oh my goodness, seeing so many beautiful, wonderful faces of friends from a long time now. Thank you for having us back. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in a world of your creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. You can change the world. There's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly want to be. paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. You can change the world, there's nothing to it. Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in a world of your creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it, want to change the world, there's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. You truly wish to be. Do you truly wish to be? Do you want to be free? Come on, church. If you truly wish to be, use your imagination. If you want to be free, if you truly wish to be, if you truly wish to be.
I was just watching a documentary on Gene Wilder this week. Thank you so much, Sharon and Lee and Jeremy. Can we give them just a little bit more love? So we're starting our book study today, and the book is The World Could Be Otherwise by Norman Fischer. It's available for sale in the bookstore. And actually, I've been in touch with Norman Fischer's people, and I'm trying to see if maybe he can come be one of the speakers on one of these months. Working on it. We'll see if he can make it. I'm hearing a hum. It's the bass. Lee, can you turn your bass monitor off, or whatever you do? That's a nice hum, though. That's like an ohm, isn't it? It's like. It's like right into your bones. Shake all that stuff loose. So the subtitle of this book is Imagination and the Bodhisattva Path. And as I started to read this book, what I was really struck by is on the back cover, there's just like a little blurb, and it really hit me. It's, in frightening times, we wish the world could be otherwise. With a touch of imagination, it can be. And it really landed for me right now. I don't know, does anyone else with me in this idea of frightening times? And And in those moments, it really is about practice, right? It's about regrounding ourselves. Whatever's going on in our life that's trying to throw us off, whatever is happening that makes us feel overwhelmed, or it's too much, or it's an opportunity to quiet and to still, to take a pause, to take a breath. And so for the first week of this, we're looking at 2 chapters, but then after that, we're just looking at 1, right? And the 2 chapters that we're going to be looking at this week are imagination and one of the 6 perfections, which is part of the Bodhisattva path, which is generosity. And imagination for Fischer is, I feel like I want to call him Norman. I've never met him, I want to call him Norman. Imagination is the larger framework that he's inviting us to hold everything in. And there's another reason why I really resonated with that, because imagination is one of our 12 powers. Imagination is one of the ways that we understand that we can access the divinity that we are. And he says imagination is a gateway to possibility, the first step toward living a life grounded in compassion and wisdom. And what I also appreciated about this book is that he's very clear that imagination on its own is not enough. Imagination on its own is a little like thoughts and prayers. Imagination is the first step. It is the way we begin something. And he really makes a point to say that imagination is not something that's frivolous. It's actually how we can create change, both internally and externally in the world. So Unity's understanding of imagination is we understand it to be the ability to image, picture, conceptualize, envision, and dream. And so the power of conception, right, to conceive new ideas. It is the power of vision, to dream of what does not yet exist. And it is the power of embodiment, living as if. We can feel how this is a fertile space to begin anything from, particularly the power of embodiment. And I think this is the one that I know I struggle with, and I know that most of us struggle with. The actual embodiment in time, in space. We may have all these fabulous ideas. We have these fabulous, everybody in here have fabulous visions for their life? It's the embodiment of them that is actually going to make them real. So, imagination is the starting point. The 6 perfections, and we're going to talk about that word, because anybody else get triggered by that? The 6 perfections provide a structure, giving us concrete practices to transform our aspirations into lived reality. Anybody in here want the lived reality of what we're imagining? I know I do. So his premise, it so aligns with Unity that it's another reason why it really resonated with me. He says, we're only human, but we're also more. Sound like when I say we are a divine human? He says we each have to take ourselves less seriously as the person we think we are, and more seriously as the bodhisattva we also surely are. So it's this invitation to let go of some of the ideas that we have about who we think we are, so that we can show up in that Christ nature. You can pretty much, from his perspective and how he talks about all of this, we can intersperse Christ, Buddha consciousness here, because in the Mahayana Buddhism tradition, they envision Buddha as an eternal cosmic principle. Sound similar to the Christ consciousness? It's the imaginary embodiment of love. And each person at the core is a Buddha in potential. So the way we understand the Christ is not a person, but it is a state of consciousness. That is exactly what he is proposing here about the understanding of Buddha. That it may have been manifested and demonstrated through Siddhartha, but it is not exclusive. That there are Buddhas everywhere, and there are bodhisattvas, Buddhas in training, as he would call it, everywhere. And he says that's what we all are. We're all Buddhas in training. And we all are bodhisattvas, and we're called to practice compassion and to be devoted to the benefit of others. I just need us to take a moment there. Because I think in our unity teaching, and this is why I also wanted to bring this book in, I think sometimes we can get very focused on our internal experience, and we do not pay as much attention to how what we are called to be is a benefit to the world. We think about our own needs, our own desires, our own wants, our own vision for our life. And there's nothing wrong with that. So if that's where you are, woohoo, right? Because that's about that manifestor stage of consciousness. That's about understanding that we're not victims. That's about understanding that we are empowered to actually create something for ourselves. And we are being called to something more than that. We're being called into this awareness that compassion isn't only me benefiting you, it's us together, right? And I love this line. He says, in the expansive, ever-connectedly ineffable space of imaginative reality. Whew. You try to talk about the things that we really can't put language to, and you end up with a sentence like that. But I love this, connectedly ineffable space of imaginative reality. How often do we forget that reality, as we understand it, is imaginative? How often do we think it is, rather than understanding that it is imaginative? It's fluid and flexible and malleable. He goes on to say, I am not just me. You are not just you. We are we. It's life taking care of life, and it's the most natural thing possible. And I think that in our teaching, that this piece is something we need to nurture more fully. This understanding that life is a life, period. And there is no me, there is no you. There is the we. There is the wholeness. There is the allness. So the framework that he's inviting us to explore for the next 6 weeks are the 6 perfections. And the word, the actual word that's been translated into perfections is paramitas. And the 6 perfections are generosity, ethical conduct, patience, joyful effort, meditation, and then understanding and wisdom. All right, so these are the 6 perfections, the paramitas. And how he's inviting us to hold these is that the 6 perfections are there to support us, our ability to reimagine and recreate a world that isn't about brokenness, that isn't about what isn't working, to support our capacity to create and imagine a world that is compassion and wisdom and interconnectedness. These perfections offer us a way to focus ourselves. And what I love about this is the perfections are about us practicing something. They're about us being able to practice this so that we, me, we, you, it's all the same, but me, right here, I get to learn how to be more in harmony with the world. I am the one who is practicing it. I'm not expecting something to come and wave its magic wand and just make all the AK-47s disappear. Right? I am the one who is building some capacity within myself. Myrtle Fillmore says, the challenge is that I don't live in a cave. I am connected. What happens for me happens for all life. And it's our practice that makes our imaginings real. It's our practice that brings them into that lived reality, which is always imaginative, right? It's not fixed. If you walk away from nothing during this talk except that, I want you to understand that our seeming reality is not fixed. It is imaginative. So, I don't know about you, but I heard and read the word perfection, and immediately I was like, oh God, another thing I have to do, master, perfect. So he says very clearly, the 6 perfections are impossible, right? So we get to breathe into that. They're impossible. Paramita, the word means gone to the other side. And he's inviting us to hold this idea of perfection as to the end of impossible and beyond. All the way on the other side of whatever limitations we have imposed upon ourselves and our understanding of the world. And he says, no one can practice them, but we practice them anyway. We make the impossible possible. Can you feel the godness there, right? It's a divine paradox. That these are ideals. So in unity speak, we would call them divine ideas. Divine ideas that we are never in time and space going to live into fully. Just let that go. Right? Whatever is getting triggered about what you need to accomplish or how good you have to be, or right? Let it go. The whole point of this is that these perfections are expansive, imaginative practices that inspire us to action. And we're never, ever going to complete them. It's a lifetime's work, and it's never going to be done. Phew. So we don't have to worry about supposedly being perfect about any of this. It's the path and the practice. That's the goal. It's not about the destination. Can you feel how this will automatically support us being in present moment awareness? There's always a challenge with our imagination and the vision, right? It's so important that we have imagination, that we have a vision, that we have something pulling us forward. But if all of our focus is out there in the future, then guess what? Nothing is happening here. Nothing is actually happening here. So that vision is going to stay out there in the future. These 6 perfections are just a way to focus our practice, so that we can discover a capacity that we have that maybe we never knew we had, that invites us to grow past our ego self into the truth of who we are, the bodhisattva that we all are. And so the first perfection is the perfection of generosity. And he says, generosity is the natural expression of the awakened heart. When we offer not only our material resources, but also our time, energy, and love. Now, I did a whole talk on a lot of this a couple of weeks ago, so if you want to dive into it a little bit more, you can. But it's the idea that we give ourselves fully to life, which means we're giving ourselves fully to others. Because life is all of us. And so we're being invited to step out of our small concerns. We're being invited to actually be awakened heart to what's actually happening. And I'm not saying it's easy. I sat there watching the news this week, and my heart was broken open again and again and again and again. And every time it broke open, I got to invite myself to a deeper understanding of how do we, it's all the same. How do we shift this? Because it is in our capacity to shift this. But we cannot keep doing what we have continued to do. Because guess what? The vision is always out there. It's inviting us to something right here, right now, not in the future. And the only way we can begin to master this, if we even master it at all, because that's not the point, is that we have to start practicing. So there is this idea, which I talked about that we don't give to get, right? That when we give, there needs to be a freedom to how we're giving, that there is no expectation of a return. Because scripturally, we know that what we give comes back to us multiplied. Not because we expect it, but because it is spiritual law. It's rooted in the abundance that is all life. And yet, so many of us come from a place of lack and not enoughness. Oh, I can't give here because that means I won't have enough here. Or we give and we expect this direct reciprocity. It doesn't work that way, folks. It doesn't. I've done things deeply generous. Chris was reminding me when I first moved to LA, and this is when I was unemployed. I could barely pay my own rent. I was like, it was terrifying. And I met this young woman who had no place to live. And so I invited her into my home. And she lived with me, rent-free, for almost a year, a little over a year. I didn't expect anything back from her. I wasn't doing it because I wanted something back from her. I was doing it because I was as close to that edge as she was already on the other side of that edge. And I trusted the abundance. And I knew that there was going to be enough space, there was going to be enough room, there was going to be enough. So at the end of each chapter in the book, he gives very, very concrete practices for each of these perfections, practices to put into this whole week. I want to invite you into these practices. If you don't have a chance to read the chapter itself, go to the end of the chapter and just take a look at the practices so that you can start them rather than starting them at the end of the week. That makes sense to everyone? Right? So one of the practices that he talks about is mindful giving. And the intention is to just every day give something to someone. Every day. It could be a kind word, it could be a smile, it could be your time, it could be a material gift. One of the things he suggests in there that his teacher suggested to him is that anytime you go into a bathroom, that you wipe down all the counters. Right? But think about that. As you're wiping down the counters, not because they're dirty, not because you're judging, but because I want to create a space that's clean and safe for the next person, and I have no idea who that person is. The goal in this practice is to just be aware of what comes up for you in the act of giving. What are the feelings that get triggered? Do you feel yourself tensing? Do you feel yourself resisting? It's okay. Just notice what's happening because those things are guiding you. And that will help you to begin to understand what you might need to unhook yourself from around abundance and prosperity and all those good things You might notice that you're so easy for you to give of your time, but that when it comes to giving of your money, you start to have palpitations, right? There is no difference between time and money. They are all both exchanges of energy, that's all. In your mind, there is a difference. In your belief system, there is a difference. But what if you could let that go? What if you could actually rest in the reciprocity? And that reciprocity isn't going to come back to you in a way I never expected, and I don't expect that the good of my generosity of letting that young woman stay with me until she got herself settled was going to come back to me in equal measure, that she was going to have to put me up for a year, right? Or that even anybody was going to have to put me up. It doesn't exist it's not like and like. It's that I put that energy out into the world, and then generosity comes back to me. I don't know how, but I know that generosity is, because it's that giving and receiving. Does this make sense? Because the next practice is, we love technology, don't we? The next practice is to release the attachment to the outcome of your generosity, right? So when you give, whether it's time or money or attention, can you let go of that need, that desire to be acknowledged, to be seen as being generous? I think they tried to reboot it, so this will work. So just noticing where you're attached to what the result is supposed to be, and then practice releasing it. And this, I give you this affirmation: I give freely, trusting in the abundance that is my life right now. Let's say that together. I give freely, trusting in the abundance that is my life right now. Right? We're trying to unhook ourselves from a narrative. Because right now, I know that there's a whole lot of us in here that are struggling with the idea that there's not enough votes, or there's not enough people who agree, or there's not. That's all lack consciousness. Everyone breathe into that with me. Lack consciousness. So what is it that we are going to engage in? If we believe in the limitless potential, there are so many unregistered voters out there, people. There is a pool of people that are waiting to be inspired, that are waiting to be invited. There is no lack, except in the constructs that we're creating in our imagination. And then the last one that I'm pointing out, now in the book there's lots, he really does give you lots and lots of options. But can you practice generosity towards yourself? This, I think, is probably the most important one. Because do you take time to reflect on the things that you've done well? Or do you just focus on the things you need to do better? Do you take time to treat yourself with the same kindness that you might offer to a friend? Or I like to say, a child? Sometimes we judge our friends, right? Let's be honest, right? Why can't she get her act together? We don't do that with children, right? We understand intuitively that children are growing and evolving. Well, guess what? So are we, right? So are we. So that same spaciousness, where the invitation is, can you be generous with yourself? And one of the things that he talks about giving is your fearlessness. Can you give your fearlessness? Now, in Unity, we talk about fear as being false evidence appearing real. So when we talk about fearless, we talk about not getting caught up in that false evidence that looks so real. right? Can you generously share that? The prayer chaplains do that all the time. That's their mission, is to share their fearlessness, that the false evidence isn't real, because guess what? Reality is imaginative. So can you be, because when we're more kind and we're more generous to ourselves, when we acknowledge the places where we're fearless, when we acknowledge the places where we know that we know, that it enables us to extend our generosity more freely, because we're rooted in our own self-worth. We're rooted in compassion. And I say this all the time, we cannot give what we do not have. We cannot give what we do not have. So this is a space where we want to cultivate our self-worth, cultivate the things that we do well, fully aware that there are things we don't do well. Do we need to place, most of us probably place about 90% of our focus on the things we don't do well, and we give ourselves 10% to the things that we did. We assume that the things we did is just normal. Oh, that's just normal. That's not special. That's just normal. So frustrating when we all do this. We all do this. Anything that we accomplish is not normal, because at any point we could freeze and not do it. So when we do it, we need to pat ourselves on the back. And that's not hubris. I'm not talking about pridefulness. I'm talking about deep humility, right? A deep, deep humility, a willingness to acknowledge that you are more than just your humanness. And that arises from humbleness, not from pride. We are all bodhisattvas practicing compassion and the vow to be of benefit to others, the dedication to be of benefit to others, the devotion to be of benefit to others. And I know everyone in here is doing it. I know you do it with your families. I know you do it with your circle of friends. I'm inviting you to blow that open, to just open yourself up to a larger circle of awareness. And so the question that I'm going to be inviting you into through this whole 6 weeks is, what is the bodhisattva you envision yourself to be? Because your bodhisattvaness, your Buddha-ness in training, is not going to look like anybody else's. It's going to look like yours. What does that look like? And the way we discover this is by doing something differently, right? Stepping beyond what we already know and engaging with that leading edge. We would call this in Unity the leading edge of consciousness. I'm going to leave you with a Myrtle quote, which I loved. It's not always best for a person to continue doing that which they like to do or have even been trained to do. We need to develop all of our faculties and powers to increase what the world needs most. Right? Myrtle. Jeez. Right? I remember when I was struggling with letting go of the dream of acting, my imagination, I had vision boards with myself accepting Tonys, and I had to let go of what that imaginative reality was and develop different faculties and powers. And it's great on the other side of it. It was hellacious in the middle of it, but it's so much more on the other side of it. Now, the only reason why it was so challenging was because I was fighting it every step of the way. I was fighting it. I was fighting the inner call within myself to be devoted in a different way. I wasn't listening because I was so attached to what I thought my life should be. that I was missing out on what was right in front of me. Now, the thing is, the divinity that I am did not let me wiggle off of that hook. It just kept me going to Agape. It kept me going to the classes. It kept me doing the work until eventually I let go. And I know I say this, but let go or get dragged, people, right? I was dragged for a long time until I was like, oh, how about if I just let go? Oh, look how nice it is if I just let go. Imagination, imaginative reality. I was fixing my reality. Can you feel that? I was fixing my reality and I was creating my own suffering. But when we allow ourselves to step into like the plasticity of reality, and we dance with that, that is when we actually become something that is truly creating change in the world. So let's take this into our time of meditation. Because there's a lot in this book, and I know that it's pushing me to sort of step out of my own little bubble. And so whatever might have gotten stirred up for you, whatever resonated, just breathing into that spaciousness that is truly who we actually are. Our Buddha, Christ nature. Available to us in all of its fullness and all of its magnificence. Resting in this spaciousness that is all love, all compassion, that is innate wisdom. And let go. Let go of whatever it is that you are holding on to so tightly. Allow your heart to open generosity to yourself, to the world. Allow yourself to dance and be present with this imaginative reality. And let's just rest here as we just welcome our bodhisattvaness to arise in our understanding. What is the bodhisattva that we are here to be? So let's just take a few minutes in the silence to just be. How good it is to be still and just to allow ourselves to unattach, allowing our hearts to open even more, welcoming this opportunity to focus our spiritual practice, through this lens of the Bodhisattva path, knowing that these goals are quote unquote impossible, and yet knowing that we are being called to make the impossible possible. That it is our practice that changes the world, because our practice is changing us. And so as we step into this process, we just do so with grace, a generosity of spirit for ourselves, for each other. And just knowing that the path, the journey is all. Welcoming that. How grateful I am to know that when we come together and say yes, that the way is made, that transformation is possible in this imaginative reality. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. And so today's affirmation, today I joyfully choose to imagine and create a world full of love, compassion, and wisdom. Can we know this together? Today I joyfully choose to imagine and create a world full of love, compassion, and wisdom. And so it is. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to invite Sharon and Lee to come on forward.
Let's give Reverend Deanne some more love for that message. We needed that message today. Today especially, we need that message. Yes, yes. The perfection of generosity. To joyfully and fully give ourselves to life and others, fully and completely. I give myself away. I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. I give myself away so you can use me. Here I am, here I stand. Lord, my life is in your hands. Lord, I'm longing to see your desires revealed in me. So I give myself away. I give myself away so God can use me. I give myself away. I give myself away so God can use me. Take my heart, take my life as a living sacrifice. All my dreams, all my plans, I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. I give myself away so God can use me. I give myself away. I give myself away so God can use me. My life is not my own. You I belong. I give myself to you. Oh, my life is not my own. To God I belong. I give myself to you. My life is not my own. In God I belong. I give myself to you. I give myself away. I give myself away so God can use me. I give myself away. Oh, God can use me. I give myself away. So God can use me. I give myself away. Hey, I give myself away so you can use me. I give myself away. Yes, yes.
That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Sharon. And thank you, Dan, for a great, great message. Came at a good time. I was sitting there thinking, oftentimes someone will say, especially when you're an older woman, that you're invisible. But my response to that is, watch your resting face. Watch your resting face, because if you're walking around the world, you have a lot on your mind. You're not smiling, you're kind of frowning when there's a lot on your mind. So I'm really conscious of having my head up and smiling. And usually when that happens, I get to say hi to more people, and they just kind of lighten up when you say, hi, good morning. They're like, oh, hi, It's such a simple thing, and yet that vibration continues out into the world when you do something like that. So the universe does not understand English, it understands energy. Remember that. It understands energy. All right, at this time, oh no, maybe not. So we are doing the book study. It starts today, as Reverend Deanne said. This book you can get in the bookstore, which is around the corner out in the courtyard. There is only one group that has space available if you want to join this group. So make sure you check that out in the courtyard. The study guides are available, and they are in the bookstore. So if you're in a group, make sure you pick up your study guides in the bookstore. All right, at this time, I'd like to invite Lucille to talk about our Heritage Corner campaign.
What's up? Good morning, Unity. My name is Lucille Ellison, and I'm a member of your board. And, you know, I loved today's service, and I keep coming back because I love the services. And it's empowering. And for me, giving is an inside job. It comes from a place where I set an intentional, because I believe in intentional living. No matter what I'm doing, I'm trying to be of service, do the best I can with it. When I was working, I would do the best I can. And so when I come to Unity, I would get this respite and this feeling of, And I wanted to somehow convert that feeling that I was feeling. And we had the first paver push, you know, and I bought a paver. And my intention was for people to feel the love that I felt when I came into this room. And so my paver said, feel the love. And my intention is that anybody who reads that feels that love. It wasn't that I expected something back, but when I did that, and anytime I read that, I get this feeling of an acceleration of inside me, of love, of power. And that imagination just keeps growing. So the more I give, the more power I get, the more love I feel, the more compassionate I am. So I invite you to be powerful, to embody. As today in the service, we had all these things about Barbara's birthday, and we celebrate that as a community. And celebrate your love, your power, a person in your life. Whatever it is, set an intention and make an embodiment of that intention as a paver. Thank you for your attention.
So there's individual pavers that are $1,000. There's also a center plaque that anyone can contribute to in any amount. So please see a board member outside for details. I personally am doing a payment plan, so it doesn't hurt so much. So so you have different options of paying for those pavers outside. So definitely see a board member. In a short while, the ushers will be coming shortly with the collection baskets. And while they're getting ready, I want to point out the different ways that you can give to this community. You can see it posted here inside our facility and also online. Any version, any way you'd like to give is absolutely great. And then, again, just to remind you on the spiritual connection card, you can fill that out for prayer support, or which you'll be held in 60 days in prayer, or any information you'd like to share with us. Be sure to fill that out. Would everyone please know this with me of our offering affirmation? I am the power of abundance, giving and receiving gratefully. And we'll have Sharon and the band up again. And ushers, you can come forward.
Victory is mine. Victory is mine. Victory today is mine. Fear, get thee behind. Victory today is mine. Victory is mine. Joy is mine. Joy today is mine. I told sadness, get thee behind. Joy today is mine. Love is mine. Love morning, I didn't have no doubt. I knew that the Lord would bring me out. I made my peace, let go in sweet release. I got up singing and shouting of victory. Love is mine, love is mine, love is mine. Love today is mine. All right now. I don't hatred, get thee behind. Love today is mine. Victory, come on, victory is mine. Victory is my victory. Victory is mine. Victory today is mine. I told fear, get thee behind. I told fear, I told fear to get thee behind. I told fear, I told fear to get thee behind. One more time. I told fear to get thee behind. Victory, victory today is mine. Yes, yes.
New member class which was supposed to be today is postponed, and we will give you more information. We'll announce the new date at a later time. This week is Unity's World Day of Prayer. We'll have the Labyrinth here in the sanctuary on Wednesday, September 11th, starting at 7 p.m. I want to say thank you to everyone, the prayer chaplains who will be sitting vigil during the World Day of Prayer. And if there are people here that would like to also hold vigil, please contact the office to get information about when and how to do that. All right, and then we want to talk about the Diamond Jubilee online auction.
We are holding an online auction. This is cool. And if you have anything that you think might be a good contribution to the auction, please see either Monica Walsh, Lucille Allison, or Nancy Foster, or just go to the board table. There's lots of really great things. There's artwork there, there's sessions, there's music lessons, there's all kinds of fun things. And so it's going to run, it'll be live from September 13th through October 6th. But you can go on right now, and you'll find the link on our website if you look at the event for the online auction, and you can register for it, and you can't make a bid yet, but you can see everything that is available. So you can start to like rub your hands together in anticipation. And then we do have 2 platform trainings. So if you look at that, you get registered and you're like, I don't understand how to use this. Come to the online trainings. It's going to be next Sunday and the Sunday after, right after service here in the sanctuary. And you can get walked through how to use the online auction. Does this make sense to everyone? Lucille, you said something else?
Yes, and more is coming. So what you see on the website, if you register today, you can see what we have available.
If you register today, you can see what's available right now, but we do have more things coming in all the time, so don't think that what's there is all that's going to be there. Did that make sense? Exactly. All right. Awesome.
Great. We have a spiritual movie night on Saturday, September 21st. It's an evening of entertainment, laughter, and thoughtful conversation, but I have no idea what the movie is. So,
And it's not here.
and it's not here. It's not going to be here. So you need to go to the website or click on the QR code to get more information. And will the prayer chaplains please rise? These are members of our community that are available to you after service for you to share whatever is on your heart. Thank you so much for your time and talent, prayer chaplains. And do we have family youth here? Do we have family youth? Come on in. There are two groups. There are two groups of the youth. One is Creative Arts Space and the other is Uni Teens. So welcome.
I want everyone to rise. We have a prayer that we do that for the youth that are here with us right now. I'm going to invite us to hold the youth that are scared of even going to school right now. Right? We're holding all of that. We're holding the youth that we are as we know this together. You are the perfect expression of divine light. We love you exactly the way you are. And so it is.
So it is. Do you want the prayer? Mm-hmm. And let's say our prayer protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. And let's sing our community song.
Hold on. We need to get we're not seeing the PowerPoints here. There we go. Thank you.
And now for our community song.
You can just pretend it's karaoke, right? Here we go. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 I'm so grateful.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Come and say hello to me here at the door and join us for hospitality.